Good evening. Good morning, USA subscribers. This is your host, Mr. Nick. For Good Morning USA, we're doing a special short primetime version. I'm doing a short special primetime version edition. Stay tuned. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to go with a beginner's guide to Bitcoin mining and a beginner's guide to Ethereum mining in 2017. How to mine Ethereum on your PC. Getting started with Ethereum mining, the video guide. The good news is that getting started with Ethereum mining is now easier than ever. You do not need to download the full Ethereum blockchain, which is now over 20 plus gigabytes and still growing. You also do not need to manage clunky command line miners with manual instructions. I don't know how completely accurate this is, but I thought it would be an interesting start to the program. For those of you interested in Bitcoin and Litecoin and all that stuff. And I'm always interested to learn new things, and I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. C. Beagle. That's his screen name. Anyway, he's got some shared some very good knowledge that he has about some things, not just mining, Bitcoin mining and Ethereum and the Litecoin. So we are on to, for purpose of this guide, we are going to do a detailed walkthrough of setting up and using the very popular Claymore miner. Get the current version here from Claymore Original Bitcoin thread, and then follow along with the steps in this video. The whole process of getting your wallet set up, download your miner configuration thing. Alright, I'm going to show you a brief little bit of this video.
Also known as TechMan34 on the Ethereum forums, and I've put together a guide for you to get started mining Ethereum. How to mine Ethereum on a PC, the beginner's guide. This is the beginner's guide. We will cover more advanced materials in different videos, but I wanted to get you up and running as quickly as possible, and this guide will accomplish that. Giving you all the details.
Excuse me, guys.
To get started quickly. So what do you need to get started? You need compatible hardware, so your GMU needs enough RAM, which is 3 gigabytes currently. This is required due to the DAG file that's needed for mining Ethereum. I will cover other hardware in the full text version of the guide, which you can download as a PDF at the end of this video. I'll show you how to get that. You need a compatible operating system, which is Windows or Linux. There's no Mac at this time, and make sure that it is 64-bit. You need proper GPU drivers installed. I will cover some different drivers that work well with different cards.
Okay, and this site is 99bitcoins.com, so feel free to check it out. And stay tuned for the current headlines, as we like to do here at Good Morning USA. And again, this is a special primetime edition of Good Morning USA with your host, Mr. Nick. We're doing a special primetime edition. Let's see. Stay tuned, guys. Sorry, I had my head down. I was really into something. Alright, so stay tuned for a little breaking news, and we'll go from Free Beacon to Washington Free Beacon. Okay, Trump State Department unsure why Palestinian terrorists kill Israelis. This is from the Washington Free Beacon again. And we are, this is by Adam Criddle. Please help me out if I kind of screwed that name up. Officials in the Trump administration State Department are standing by a recent report criticized by Congress that blamed Israel for terror attacks and claimed Palestinians rarely incite violence, telling the Washington Free Beacon that it remains unclear why terrorists engage in violent acts. The Palestinian people have been engaging in these acts for a long time. Not all, in a lot of groups and sectors and different nationalities. You're going to always have the good and the bad. But for the most part, Palestinian people and Israel have been fighting for a long time. So whatever government officials say that it wasn't Palestine's fault or Palestinians' fault, well, that from that side they've been throwing a lot of whatever they've been doing, but they've been doing a lot of bombing and whatnot over to the Israel side. So we got to make sure that we keep the MSM in check here, guys. Give me 1 second here. So, Rep. Peter Roskman, Republican Illinois, co-chair of the House Republican Israel Caucus, criticized the State Department Thursday for releasing a report portraying Israel as the culprit in terrorism. I don't think I'm sure that President Trump didn't call the Israelis the culprit in this. In terrorism and downplaying Palestinian incitement of violent acts against the Jewish state, the Free Beacon first reported. Okay, so next one, the 8 best moments from Donald Trump's interview with the New York Times. Let's go here. Okay, I don't think we ever read presidential interview quite like the one Donald Trump gave to the New York Times yesterday. Going over the transcript there were times when I thought I was reading a David Marmot play. You can read the full thing here. Continuity for Republicans. Impeaching Trump not likely a tool they're going to use. Continente. For Republicans, impeaching Trump not likely a tool they're going to use. So this is this is a video. We'll go ahead and do a video. This is by the Washington Free Beacon staff, July 21st, 2017. And we'll give you a kind of a short clip of the video here.
What would Republicans do if he did try to fire Robert Mueller?
Well, I think a lot of Republicans would protest very strongly. The question is what they would do after they registered their protest.
Yeah.
And the truth is they don't really have many tools at their disposal to check the president. Right, and I don't think that's the tool they're going to use in this case.
What would be the line for impeachment, Matthew? What do you think?
For Republicans?
Yeah.
It's very hard to say as long as they're in charge of the Congress. You know, I mean, as one of your earlier guests was saying, these polarized times and Republicans are sticking together. They also agree with Trump in some respects in the sense that the Russia investigation is a distraction. So he has kind of support among Republicans and certainly his voters on that case. So I think there would be major protests. I think a lot of Republicans would caution the president not to fire Bob Mueller. But after that, I don't think they have many tools at their disposal.
Dan, last question to you. If they don't do anything...
Okay, well, that's all she wrote for that video, I guess. So anyway, folks, we gotta keep your eyes open for the MSM. They can't hardly report any facts anymore. If any. And as many of you may know, those of you who know me by YouTube and otherwise, you know that I am not a liberal whatsoever, and I don't believe in a lot of that agenda. one moment, guys. Stay tuned for a little brief update with your weather conditions, current weather conditions. You all have to stay tuned for a very special Good Morning USA I have coming up, probably within the next 3 days to a week. I'm working on it. Okay, stand by for your weather current conditions, courtesy of WeatherBug. Current conditions if you live in near Traverse City, Michigan. 79 degrees, current temperature, feels like 79, high, well, the high, I can tell you that, the high was close to 88 today. And the lowest, expected low is 63, and no rain currently on the radar in the area here. Winds are nothing. The winds are a big nothing burger. Just joking. Current closest lightning strike is 211 miles, which we don't really need to worry about for this town. And if you live anywhere near the eastern shore of Maryland, your current temperature is 85 degrees, feels like 94. Your expected low is 77. If you live in that area on the eastern shore of Maryland, please stay hydrated, well hydrated. You again apparently have no rain coming as the radar looks. Your current closest lightning strike to you is 206 miles away. If you live in Naples, Florida, or near there, your current temperature is 84, feels like 94. Your expected low is 75, and no rain on the radar. Winds are north at 6 miles an hour with no gusts. Closest lightning strike to you in Naples, Florida is 124 miles away. Again, those of you that live in places where you are having a high heat index and excessive heat, please do stay hydrated. Stay very well hydrated, as it can cause some serious health problems. I don't know how I'm doing it. You know, I'm in my 50s, and I just don't know how I do it. Because currently where I'm at in the room I'm in is it was near 85 in the room, while it was 85, 88 outside. So you can just imagine what I go through when it gets that hot. Your weather conditions, current weather conditions. If you live in Claxton or near Claxton, Georgia, your current temp is 79, feels like 79, low is 71. You have some rain on the radar, 40% chance of rain showers. Current closest lightning strike to you is 111 miles away. Winds are nothing north, 0 mile an hour with no gusts. So if you live in and or near Big Rapids, Michigan, your current temp is 77, feels like 77. Expected low of 60. It is currently raining if you live in Big Rapids or near Big Rapids, Michigan. And your current closest lightning strike if you live there in Big Rapids, Michigan is 167 miles away. No lightning nearby. But quite a bit of rain. Here you go. I'll show you just in case you don't believe me. So there is Big Rapids. And let me show you the radar. Yeah, I guess I gotta do it this way, don't I? See all that rain? That is for Big Rapids. Looky there. Okay. And if you live in and or near Cadillac, Michigan, your current temp is 77, feels like 77, low of 60 expected. You currently also have rain in your area. I'm not going to show the radar again, I just did it for Big Rapids. And if you know anything about northern Michigan, Cadillac is near Big Rapids. Current closest lightning strike to you in Cadillac is 197 miles away, no lightning nearby. Winds are north at 5 miles an hour with no gusts. Your current weather conditions, if you live in Petoskey, Michigan, your current temp is 75. Low of 60 expected. North winds, it looks like 0 mile an hour, no gusts. 261 miles away is your closest lightning strike if you live in Petoskey, Michigan. And Myrtle Beach, South Carolina today. Let's go ahead and plug that one in. Your current temp if you live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is 81 degrees with a low of 76. North winds at 6 miles an hour, gusts at south at 15 miles an hour. Closest lightning strike to you if you live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 117 miles away. Your current weather conditions for Grand Rapids, Michigan, courtesy of the weather bug again. Your current temp is 78, feels like 78, high is low is 65. You currently have rain in your area. Grand Rapids, Michigan, you have a possibility of thunderstorms for the next 3 hours. Keep your eye on the thunderstorms. And for Grand Rapids, your closest lightning strike is 144 miles away. Winds at 2 mile an hour, gusts east-northeast at 5 mile an hour. Again, your current temp if you live in Grand Rapids, Michigan is 78 degrees. 80% chance of storms in your area, and if you live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, monitor those storms, please. If you live in northeastern Illinois, your current temp is 71 degrees. Feels like 71, low 67. No rain on the horizon for tonight. Looks like radar looks pretty empty. Your current winds are north at 60 miles an hour with no gusts. Your current closest lightning strike if you live in northeastern Illinois is 389 miles away. And so now let's talk a little bit off topic here about a special topic of mine, something that's kind of near and dear to me. My friends, my age group, I'm in that 40, 50-year-old group, or 40 to 60-year-old group. I grew up with Atari, and lo and behold, they're actually coming out with a brand new Atari system. There is a new guy in charge, it looks like, and he's by the name of Fred Chesnius, and he's at the helm now, and trying to make Atari great again. He stole a line from Donald Trump, our president. I don't think he stole it. He might have bought it. Nah. Anyways, so stay tuned for some news from the Atari front. I will update you as soon as I can find out more. And you can also go to it's called AtariBox.com. Check it out. Subscribe, put your email address in and subscribe for updates. It's about all there is now. They're being very secretive, but they also want the Atari community's feedback and input to figure out what's best, how to best go forward. Sounds like this guy is really serious about bringing this company back from the dead. I think it's one of those companies that could rise from the ashes. There are companies that have done that before. They've come out. One thing about Atari is they haven't. When they released the Atari Jaguar and the Atari Lynx, the Jag was a very good system for its day. But the problem being they didn't really have the support for it, and either the software support. I mean, they had some good developers, and they had some good software developers that really tried hard to put games out. But when you only attract a handful or two handfuls of developers, game developers, it kind of puts a hamper on your ability to put games out for it. And back then, they always went through some hard, difficult financial times. Now, the Atari Lynx, though, kind of kept the Atari name out there. It really kept the Atari name out there, I should say. As Atari never really went out. They pretty much folded the hardware business at the time, but then they were split up, bought up by a bunch of different companies, and then eventually, I guess, a company called Infogrames got a hold of them, bought them, renamed it Atari Interactive, rebranded it as Atari Interactive. But then, apparently, this guy by the name of Fred Chesnius had bought them and recently purchased the Atari company, because there was Atari in, now I'm not sure where they're at, but it was a foreign company that bought Atari Interactive, Atari, the home video game division. And so it was Atari Interactive SA out of a different country. But there has always been an Atari New York, in New York. And I guess the guy by the name of Fred Chesnius picked up on it. He bought the company, or he, owned the Atari New York division. And I think he recently purchased the Atari Interactive SA portion of it, because when you go to the website now, it's only Atari Vault, when you can play games. It has nothing to do with, Atari SA, I don't think is anymore. I think they've went bankrupt. So it's like, Atari's one of those companies that is just, they're just like hanging on. They're hanging on. They're one of those companies, you can't kill. Just like their hardware, their systems. You couldn't kill it. You had to do a bunch of destructive things to actually kill the system. However they built it, whatever they did to build them, they were one of the most indestructible hardware units I've ever seen. And the Jag, was even more of a, I'm going to use a word here, and the Jag was even more of a badass. Oops. Anyways, so just stay tuned on some more updates from Atari, from me, about Atari in their new Atari box. Right now, that's what they're calling it. To me, I think it's just a code name. It's like anything else, A lot of times they give something a code name, and it's just to familiarize you and me with their product. But anyway, stay tuned, and also stay tuned. Perhaps tomorrow morning for another Good Morning USA in the right time slot. I know I'm in the wrong zip code here, doing this in prime time. But let's destroy the illusions and help me take down the MSM. I really don't want to hurt anybody. That's not my goal. But we need to give them some good, healthy competition. We need to give them some good, healthy competition. The Good Morning Americas, the Today Show, and the rest of them that the lamestream media want to push out on us. Please, guys, but do your own homework, and stay tuned for another episode about... there's some information I got just recently, not too long ago, about takeover of your land. So I'm going to do an episode here on that here very shortly. Got to do my homework, as I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to put out any false information. I'm only putting out what I see, what I actually visually see, what I read. And by the way, most news anchors and that basically read you the news. Even the ones on the TV, they don't. They have teleprompters, and they probably have. If you ever watch InfoWars, even Gary Next News Network, they've got the TV monitors in the back, so they know what's going on. That keeps them informed. That tells them what's going on, so that they can bring you the news quicker. And speaking of some of the independent news outlets, I've never seen anybody as quick as Gary Franchi of the Next News Network putting the news out. That floors me. But there's a lot of good ones. Gary Franchi, Next News Network, InfoWars, RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network. Even Right Wing News is okay. It's a decent channel. And also Lisa Haven. Don't pay too much attention for people claiming to expose some of these people. For instance, Gary Franchi has been around a long, long, long time. Longer than InfoWars. I hope I have that right. Someone correct me, please, if I am wrong in the comments. But I'm pretty sure that Gary Franchi's been around doing this a lot longer than... He's actually been doing it a lot longer than Alex Jones. However, Alex Jones, got bigger quicker. And I think it's just kind of, two smart people, and one just kind of maybe worked a little faster at it. I don't know. But you also gotta realize you gotta kind of have some fun. So this is Mr. Nick. I'm out for the evening for Good Morning USA. Thank you for joining me for this special primetime edition of Good Morning USA. You guys have a great day. God bless you. Mr. Nick out.